cooperation has always been strong because the capital markets are, in a way, very deep, very integrated, very stable, very liquid on both sides of the Atlantic, and we have investors which use both capital markets for investments. So I think over the last decade we have seen that also capital markets have become more and more stable and resilient, also in times of crisis. We, as Deutsche Börse, for example, have one of the biggest derivatives exchanges, which is, of course, crucial for the real economy to hedge against risks, for price transparency, but also for robust risk management. So I think overall the state of the transatlantic relations when it comes to capital markets is quite well established and quite good, and also the regulation in general is quite similar, so that there are no barriers investing from the US in Europe and vice versa.
Well, for us as a bank, we do business in 160 markets around the globe. For us, that sort of trend to fragmentation, first and foremost means that we have to comply with regulatory requirements in different jurisdictions. They are not necessarily aligned. But of course, it also means that we have a lot of conversations with our clients, advising them on questions of operational resilience, questions of geopolitical risk, and the way forward. But I would say for a global bank like us, it's a challenge, but it's also a tremendous opportunity. We look at our global network as unique, and we've been in a lot of countries that we're in for a long time. So we think we have an advantage when it comes to maneuvering through these challenges at the moment.
I think that there's a difference in the way we perceive things. In Europe, you talk about the South or the global South as is just a bunch of different countries or very different countries. And we don't see ourselves like that. We see like as individual countries with very different challenges, very different moments, very different opportunities in time. And I think we need to address that. So when you talk about big trade agreements, we think about sometimes the specificity of those trade agreements. So it's much more complex than a discussion between North, South, or East, West. But of course, I understand that simplifying things tends to make things easier, at least for the mind.